Everybody, this is Michael White.
And this is Anthea Morphetis.
Um, Welcome. We're doing a live. This is a special one on Saturday. Things just happen sometimes in life, so we weren't able to deliver it to you Fridays, but we didn't want to keep you waiting too long for the subject. So what we done is we moved it to today because we know that it was a subject that you guys were asking for. Why you'll never be good enough for the wrong person.
What a great subject, hey?
Oh, you know what? Before we get started though, guys, please help us out. We're not here to beg, but anything you guys can do by liking, sharing, subscribing, what I mean? It's just a click. It means a lot to us when you guys can just click, subscribe, share our content. Helps us get up on the climb up there to get our message out there. Because as I said, our content is here to bring men and women together. We're here to bridge that gap. We're not here to keep people separate or keep men and women separate. We're just here to acknowledge certain truths and certain levels of understanding. Now, you're not going to agree with everything that we say, and that's cool. But, we're just here to help educate. I mean? We're not going to sit here and tell you that we're relationship gurus. And no, we're here to sit here and tell you that based off our experience, the books that I've studied, Anthea's interactions with many different women, the books that
Women?
I've studied, women, your interactions with women, because you
Oh,
talk to a
sorry.
lot of women just like I do. Yeah, you talk to a lot of women just like I do. And then the books that I've studied, guys, I study books on dating, relationship, male and women, dances. What I mean by dances is them coming together, books on marriage. I'm not married, but again, it's always about being prepared. I read books about masculinity, femininity, both sides, right? Because again, it's about understanding how to bring us closer instead of divide us apart. So the better that we can do that, the better I can educate you guys, the better I can, be a better person here on the podcast. I don't know everything, but I'm here to just base it off my experience, what I've used in the field. I'm not a pickup artist either. I'm just saying things that I've used to be learning how to be more assertive, learning how to be a better leader, learning how to display myself properly in manhood, all those type of things. So that's literally what it's coming down to.
And it is,
Um,
yeah, it's a, we've come together through because of our long-term friendship, and many of our conversations were based around relationships. And I know Michael has heard me in relationships that I've been in. I've heard him, and we've had many discussions about it. And we are here to like just share our experiences. And like Michael just stated, we've had many interactions with men, with women, and heard and seen and experienced so much. And that's why it means everything to us. This is why we love showing up. We love being here. We love being able to educate all that we can from our experiences. Because you know what? When people say, oh, I wish I heard that when I was younger. Well, maybe
mhm.
we've got that younger people and they can hear it. So then they can take it on board. Because, mistakes don't always have to be made. Yes, we do have to make our own mistakes, but if you've got an awareness and you've got that understanding and knowledge by watching and listening to people, then you can implement that, and you can actually spot things out by yourself. So that's why it'd be so nice for you guys to support us. It helps us get more and more excited about doing these videos, because more and more people are there and we've got more to give people. So yeah, exciting times, really.
Pretty much, guys. That's why, as I said, we're here. That's why we do what we do, because again, you see, in this space, before we get started, we're gonna go on a little bit of a tangent here. In this space, it's, do you live what you preach? Because people will come at you and pick you apart for not practicing it, not living it. So that's why we are not here to say, oh my gosh, we're a relationship expert or we're a coach. We're here to share our experiences and then put that experiences into content that you guys will enjoy. And that's how we're looking at it at the end of the day, because as it grows and as it evolves, um, You know what I mean? We're never gonna label ourselves, hey, we're the number one dating podcast. No, or like, hey, like we're no. It's two people coming together, sharing our experiences, dropping a little bit of wisdom, having a little bit of fun, helping educate you to make better decisions when it comes to your dating life. And I think that's what's important. Why we focus on relationships. Number one, relationships are important, universal, not just dating, but how you interact with your friends, how you interact with your family, how you interact with your business partners, how you interact with the people at your job. Relationships are universal. It's not just one dynamic. So the reason why we chose relationship and why it's so important to us is because it's such a universal dynamic across all boards. So that's why we started this podcast, because as I've grown and Anthony has grown, we've learned to be better communicators. We've learned to be a lot more compassionate. You know what I mean? There's so many things that we've learned along the way that it's like, hey, if we can help someone else avoid that pitfall that we avoided, then we're totally willing to do it. It's like even yesterday, I told one of my girlfriends, I said, look, I'm never going to try to change you. So don't worry about it. Because again, she's a very bad texter. But I told her, I said, look, my job is to love you as a friend. My job is to love you as are. My job is not to change you into what I want you to be and then love you, because now I'm denying you a gift.
Mm-hmm. And
What
that's
type
so
of person?
important.
What type of person is that? I'm saying, okay, well, when you are what I want you to be, then I'll love you.
Yeah.
No, the whole point is for me to love you now and love you in your wholeness right now. Like, yes, you're not perfect, but my job is to love you in your wholeness now. And then through doing that, the relationship flows a lot better. Can you love the person down to their core without trying to like pick apart them or change them? Especially if they're not a bad person. If they're just a bad texter, you're just a bad texter.
Yeah. And it is, it's unconditional love, doesn't it come down to? Because I had a situation yesterday, nope, the day before, and somebody actually picked up my character and tried to bring me down. And I just thought, and to me, it was like, well, there's been many times where this person said, I've got your back, I've got so much love towards you. And then at the end of it, there was a breakdown of communication, and it was actually in judgment rather than actually taking time out. And that made me stop and think and thought, wow, actually it's conditional. So if I don't act in the way somebody wants me to act, then they're not going to be there, or they're not going to love who I am. I have to act in how they want me to act, and I'm not prepared to do that, because like Michael said, you can't change somebody. They are who they are. You can help educate them, and they can expand in their being and be a better person, absolutely. But to try and change someone, or to try and say point fingers at people, I don't agree with that. It's very much about accepting somebody for who they are and not projecting yourself onto them. It's about the unconditional love, I think, is what I'm trying to get to. Total
Yeah,
unconditional love.
it comes down to unconditional love, but we also have to be aware that healthy criticism is okay.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
can't look at everything as an attack, because if someone like criticizes you, we can't be like, oh my god, you're picking apart my character. I'm not using
Yeah,
you, but I'm just saying generalizing. We can't be like,
yeah,
oh my
yeah,
god, you're picking apart my character, you're mean. No, you have to be open to criticism. You just can't take it personally.
yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Like if someone critiques your work or says something, you can't take it personal. So again, guys, at the bottom of the page, we the reason why we put that there is so you guys can follow us on those social media things, even on YouTube as well. But we are going to get into today's topic: why you'll never be good enough for the wrong person.
Mm.
Hmm. You know what?
Wow.
What is? Some people are like, "Whoa, what do you mean?" The thing is, you know exactly what we mean. You've dated people where you've done so much and it was never enough.
And so much. And we're talking, because you've done and you've done and you've done, and that person has not always said, yeah, but you didn't do this, but you didn't do that. And you're like, whoa, I done this, and this. And that person is still not appreciating or still not actually realizing what you've done. And it doesn't matter how many times you spin around on your head, turn around, jump up and down, and do all the things, somersaults, whatever you want to do. They do not recognize what you are doing, and they will always have something to say about it. And it's not normally something positive, it's normally something negative. And that's how you know
Well,
you're wrong.
I'm gonna say a few things here. It's like I was chatting with a girlfriend, and she's an amazing human being, right? I really appreciate her. And the thing is, though, the guys don't appreciate the gifts that she has to give. Now, what I mean by gifts is this girl's fun, submissive, agreeable, understanding. She's fit. She's feminine. And she's agreeable. She's all of these things. And I've known her for a while. But the guys don't appreciate the gifts that she has to have. Those are gifts, by the way, just so people know. When a female decides, and again, or a male, we're gonna do both. We don't we don't pick and choose, but when a female decides to give you that, or a man starts to share his resources with you, starts to invest time into you, those are gifts.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I said, though, and she's consistent too. And I said, those men that do not appreciate that gift, you don't need to be with them. Because I said, I gave her a beautiful example. Would you ever give an iPhone to a child? And she was like, no, like that's a bad decision. They're going to throw it around, they're going to break it. And I said, why do you think we give iPhones to adults? Because adults understand the value of an iPhone. It's the same thing in a relationship. You have to understand the value of your gifts, your talents, your agreeableness, because you don't want somebody that you give your body to, all those talents as a man, you give your time, energy, attention, resources to, and then as a woman, you give submission, agreeableness, commitment, all those things, and the person throws it around. Just
And on that, what you're saying there, what just come to mind, Michael, and I don't know if you agree with me here, but I think, like I'm a big believer in we attract who we believe we are, and our own values. And when we see our values inside us, and we can recognize that and appreciate in ourselves, we can attract that to us. So, do you think, in what you've just expressed there, and you said she's attracted all the wrong people that haven't appreciated that? Is that because she hasn't seen that in herself and accepted that in herself? And once she does see that in herself, and she can actually fully appreciate her values and what the gifts that she has to put out there, then she'll attract the right man.
That's a very good question. I really do think that she does appreciate herself. It's just the emotional catch up, like the emotional where she gets caught up in the emotions, where there's the struggle.
Right.
That's what it is, because that's the thing, right? And we've all been there. You get someone, they're new, or like you're dating this person, you get caught up. And I think sometimes where a lot of situations happen is boundaries. You know what I mean? With her, she's an amazing person. She loves effortlessly. And where it comes in is she's never had boundaries with these individuals, like the people she's dated. She's never had boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you don't have boundaries, that's when someone can push you around, step all over you, treat you poorly, and because they know that you're always going to show up. They
Mm-hmm.
know that. They're like, I can treat this person like dirt, and they're still going to show up for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very proud of her right now because she is taking the time to be single, heal, work on herself, do those things. And I honestly think from here on out, it's going to only increase her amazingness personally. I think it's only going to increase her value tenfold. So that's how I've looked at it 100%. And, me being able to step to her and tell her, look, man, like what you do, those are gifts. And yes, some of the people might have squandered those gifts, because again, you were never, it's not that there was nothing wrong with her. And I tell her this all the time. There's never nothing wrong with you. It's just you'll never be good enough for the wrong person.
Absolutely.
That's what I always tell her. Like those gifts that you have, no matter how much you give and do,
If it's the wrong person.
if it's the wrong person, it's the wrong person. No matter what way you flip it, it's the wrong person, right? And again, a lot of times we'll internalize that to say, well, maybe it's me, maybe I don't do enough, maybe I don't do. No.
And that's the part we all have to stop. Yeah, that's the part we all have to stop, because there's so many of us, and I've done it myself, and you think to yourself, it's you've done something wrong, but you know what you are doing. You know your own actions, you know your own heart, you know your own self in what you do. You know if you're kind, loving, helpful, submissive. I'm trying to think of some of the things that Michael was just saying there, but just for the few things that I've just said, you know if that's you. And so when somebody is there and trying to tell you otherwise, I think you have to look at what they're saying and look at yourself to understand, well, is there any correlation between what they're saying? Well, if you know that you've done everything, you've cooked, you've gone to the shops and bought everything, you've cleaned everything up after it, you've made the beds, you've gone out, you've done you've just done in a normal day what you could have done. You've gone to work, you've bought gifts. And then someone says, well, you just didn't do what I wanted you to do. Well, like we said, you can't stand on your head enough different ways to be able to attract and have that wrong person be the right person. They're either going to see your values, they're either going to see your gifts and accept them. And actually you will know, because they will be speaking to you. They'll be speaking your language in who you are. They'll be telling you, like Michael just said, he speaks to this girl and he tells her all the time how great she is. Yeah, he tells her. So, when somebody's telling you, that's more on the right path. But if somebody's going against who you are and the things that you do, then that's the wrong person for you, because you're just never going to be good enough. And 1 year will pass, 2 years will pass, and you could possibly go into 15, 20 years and be in that wrong relationship. But because it's been so long, you're just like, you feel stuck and you're not coming out of it. So rather than getting to that point, it's being really aware. I think it's really a bit about awareness, right? So, Michael, like understanding, right?
Yes, exactly. I would say it's about understanding, it's about self-reflection, and it's about setting your boundaries, what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not willing to tolerate. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Without those boundaries, now you're just letting anybody and everybody in. And even when you've let them in, you don't know when to kick them out.
Yes. Because there's no boundaries set from the beginning. There's nothing to say. There's not, like, I think we'd said it in our last podcast, where we were saying, if you haven't got a list and an understanding before you start dating what you're looking for, then you're just going to accept anything because you've got nothing to go by. There's nothing there.
Well, so I think the simplest analogy would be this, to break it down, to keep it easy for people. When you have a house, we all, you either own a home, rent a home, whatever. You set boundaries for people that come into your home. A friend, a relationship, a partner, they know the rules before they come into your house.
Yes.
Don't dirty up my stuff. Don't steal from me. Be respectful. You know what I mean?
Take your shoes off before you come
exactly.
in.
You know the rules before you enter that home. You need to have the same thing in your relationship.
Yes.
They need to know the rules before they enter the house. And you, as the home owner, your mind, your body, your spirit, whatever, you as the homeowner need to set those rules, especially if a person wants to get to know you. If they're saying, hey, I like you, and you say, hey, I like you too, then you need to establish, hey, look, before you enter this house, these are my rules. Don't disrespect me. Don't speak to me poorly. Try to listen to me. You're never going to fully be able to listen to me, understand me, be agreeable. All those things. I'm not saying you just pop out a list out of your pocket and like, boom. What
No,
I'm
but
saying,
people that know you will kind of know that about
no, but
you
I'm saying like
anyway.
if you're even getting to know somebody like romantically,
Yeah,
have
absolutely.
that conversation of what the rules are.
Yeah. So
That's it.
you're clear from the beginning that way. There's no confusion, and no one can say, "Well, you didn't say that," or I don't know, whatever people, humans come out with a lot of different things. So,
Well, no, it's about being mature in your standards. Let them know what's tolerated and what's not tolerated. That's it. And then they'll either get on your program or they won't. That's it. It's very straightforward. They'll either say, "Yo, you know what? These are rules I can get along with," or "These are rules I can't get along with."
absolutely. And the decisions made from there on, and you're not wasting your time. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah,
Then you're not wasting your time because they know off rip what the expectations and what the rules are.
absolutely, absolutely.
So then they can't say, "Oh, I didn't know." No, we had this conversation.
Yeah.
Um, so what we're gonna do today is actually break down a video from one of my favorite speakers. He's somebody that I listen to a lot. Um, Kudos out to him. Stefan Speaks. He's one of my
He's brilliant, isn't he?
he's one of my favorite speakers. Like honestly, like I would say he's number one for me when it comes to the work that he does in bridging the gap in men and women, helping them understand both sides. And also being able to have those uncomfortable conversations, but he's always able to bring love to those conversations that are being had. He never attacks anyone's character. He brings both sides. He'll look at the men, he'll look at the women, and he'll be able to suss out what we both need to come together. So he's covering the topic of you'll never be good enough for the wrong person. So we're not here to pick apart what he's saying. We're here to add to it, and we're here to not critique it, but just add to it. So yeah, let's get started. You will never be good enough for the wrong person, so you need to just walk away. Listen, I deal with so many situations. I talk to so many people where they're trying so hard to make this individual love them. They're trying so hard to make this relationship work. And the reality is that you don't belong in that relationship. You're dealing with the wrong person. This is an individual that you don't have a connection with. And love is not truly the driving force in this relationship. And so your efforts aren't going to get you anywhere other than leading you to more damage, disappointment, and headache. You have to understand when you are trying to make it work with someone who is not trying to work with you, someone who doesn't belong in your life, neither do you belong in theirs. There's nothing wrong with that. It happens. I don't want you to beat yourself up, and I don't want you to hold on to that relationship because you've already invested so much time and energy into it. You've got to just be honest with yourself and realize nothing is going to make this better because they're simply the wrong person. And their unwillingness to embrace your efforts and to embrace the value that you're bringing to the table isn't because you don't possess that value. It's because they are not equipped to see it. They are not equipped to nurture and embrace it. That's not their role in your life because they don't belong in your life. So no more fighting, no more trying so hard, no more beating yourself up over why this isn't working. No, just accept and understand that when it's the wrong person, you will never be good enough. And that's okay. So walk away so that you can be received by the person who is truly best for you. Wow.
Powerful, Michael. So powerful. That was so, it's given me goosebumps. literally so powerful.
Wow. Well, you see, what he said is, and he said it so perfectly, is
So
they're not able to embrace your gifts and talents and what you bring to the table.
and it's not their fault, it's just the wrong person for you. It's
Well, it's
not,
that they're not equipped to,
yeah, because it's not for you.
and it's not for them.
And it's not for them either. Yeah, exactly. So it's so, it's one of these subjects where you just like, sometimes you see it and you just, it hurts. I don't know, it's like, it's one of these things where you just want that person to be able to see that, because so many of us stay in these relationships, and just because we think they can love us, but he just said it so perfectly, just the wrong person. They're not quick to see that. And
Yeah, they don't have the proper tools to manage that gift. But at
yes.
the but at the other end of the side, we also got to look at it too. If you're trying to convince this person to love you, and it ties back to what you said earlier, now it's a lack of love on your part. Because the thing is, if you're trying so hard to convince someone to love you, that's not love. That's not care. Because
Yeah.
what you're trying to do is say, hey, see me, see me.
Mm-hmm.
But now we also need to understand that when a lot of people have those attitudes, it's because they've also been hurt and let down. Again, and I'll reference this to a conversation I had yesterday with a female friend, the same one. When you don't date with purpose, when you don't date healthily, like when you're trying to convince someone to be with you and they're the wrong person, what you don't understand is you're letting this person break you and you're breaking yourself. So what happens is because again, that's how it happens, right? You're trying to convince. You're trying to do all this work for this person, exhausting yourself because they can't manage your gifts and your talents. And then with that being said, is that person's coming along for a free ride. They're enjoying it, they're benefiting from it, all those things.
But you're
Then
left.
what happens exactly, and then what happens is, and I hate to say this word, is you end up becoming broken. Not that you're broken, I'm saying like physically, but let's say um
Spiritually,
yeah,
mentally.
let's say you're in a relationship and the person cheated on you, lied to you, deceptive, or like, took advantage of a situation, like you guys slept together, but like, they don't really like you like that. They just want to have bedroom fun. It breaks you because now for the next person, and this is where the intelligence comes in, now the next person has to do work to fix you.
Mm.
It's not their job, but now they're entering into a relationship with you, knowing that like you might not trust people, you might have a hard time loving, you might have a hard time doing certain things because of certain experiences that you've had. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, that what happens is, and this is where I take accountability as a man or as a woman, you have to take accountability for your actions, because if you're doing certain things to people like in those situations, you're breaking the person for the next person to fix.
Mm.
And it's not fair to that individual.
Well, it's not fair to yourself first and foremost.
That
I'll say
too.
to that, because look, I know somebody who used those exact words with me. I'm broken. I am spiritually, mentally, and emotionally broken. He's broken me.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard that, it breaks my heart to hear that someone has experienced that to that level, because breaking you down like that is, it's not what we want to experience in this life. Yes, we can experience it to know the difference. Like we might have it for a week or 2 weeks where something has happened and you feel like something has taken place and and you feel quite broken from it. But it's when somebody sticks around and doesn't feels bad to walk away and thinks that they can actually get past this. When if it's the wrong person, it's the wrong person. It's never going to be that way, because It's just not a match. You two are not a match. So you'll constantly be fighting. You'll constantly
Mhm.
fight things that are gonna go against each other all the time. Because if it was the right person, you wouldn't be going against each other. You'd
It would
find
be
a way.
more free flowing. It would be
Yeah,
more accepting. But
yeah.
see, that's the dangerous part. Is it's not the brokenness. It's like look at a vase that has multiple cracks in it.
Mm,
When you go through situations where you've been cheated on, lied to, disappointed, all these things, and you've tried so much to be good enough for this long person, because what that is that's a sign of just love me, please.
yes.
And that's what I'm saying. When you don't get the love from the people that you want to be with or respect, or people that you know you're in a relationship with, and you're trying to convince them, it breaks you. That
Mm.
vase is breaking. So then
And
what
it,
happens is eventually when the relationship ends, now you have a vase, but it's like there's a bunch of cracks in it.
yeah,
So
it's
then
gonna.
now what happens is now when you meet the next person, all those cracks, that person has to help glue them together, because again, they might not trust you, you might not trust them, because you're going to go off your experience. It's as humans, we always go off our experience. If you've been cheated on, you're going to be like super alert. You know what I mean? You're going to be on your toes, because you'll be like, I've experienced hurt and cheating and all those other things. So what you're doing is leaving another person to clean up a mess you started.
Unless you take that time, because so many people come out of a relationship and they think the way forward is to get into a new one or meet
Oh
someone
yeah.
else. Or you hear people say, "Oh, come on, just go out and have fun, go
No.
and meet
No,
someone."
no,
And
no,
it's
no.
like, no, no, that's the worst. That's the worst advice you can give anybody. To me, that's my
Oh, it's
personal
bad
opinion.
advice.
Yeah, I
It's
think.
bad advice.
Yeah, but if you're say, let's say the situation is I'm going to speak from a woman's side. Your man's cheating on you. That's the situation. Then it's not like Michael was saying. You get into another. Say you meet somebody 2 weeks later. You're not being fair to that person. Absolutely, like Michael just
Or
stated, because now.
yourself.
Oh, and yeah, but first, as I say, for first and foremost, you're not being fair to yourself. First of all, take that time. If it's 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month, 5 month, who cares how long it takes? Just know when you show up for your next relationship by taking that time, you would show up being the best you can be in that moment. And those trust issues would have like literally this not yet actually gone, because you've worked on you and found
Mm.
new ways to see things, new lens to be able
You've
to
worked
think
through
through.
them. Yeah,
You
like
work
you've worked
through them,
through them. Yeah,
yeah,
because
to come out the other side. And you won't fully know until you get into that relationship that, you might have a little bit still in there, but then you can recognize that because you've been working on you. So,
well,
yeah.
that's the thing. That's where I take that accountability part, because the thing is, when those certain types of behaviors happen in a relationship, like when you're never good enough for the wrong person and like you're trying to exhaust your resources to show them you're a good person, it's creating cracks in the vase,
Hmm.
because you're sitting there thinking, why aren't they reciprocating? Why
Hmm.
aren't they loving me back?
And you
And
might even be saying it to them as well, not just
exactly. And then you
thinking
try
it.
to explain it to them, and then
Yeah,
all it does is it creates more and
tension.
more cracks in
Yeah,
your vase.
yeah.
Why aren't they loving me back? Why aren't they doing this?
Why aren't
Oh,
they
I'm so
listening to
hurt.
me?
Maybe I
Yeah,
need to do more.
yeah,
Maybe I need to perform more. Maybe I
yeah,
need to do, and then you're exhausting yourself for this other individual. When it's the love is good and it's healthy, you don't feel exhausted. You
yeah.
don't feel like you have something to prove. And
Yes.
that's what a lot of people don't understand. You do it willingly, not to prove something, but because you care. But in a lot of times, people are trying to feel like they have something to prove
Yeah,
to this individual. Like, I need to prove to them that I am worth being loved. But
yeah.
that's the thing. It goes back to the point that we made in the beginning. You will never be good enough for
For-
that person. So it doesn't matter what you do at that point. It doesn't matter. So anything that you give beyond that, now the person's just reaping the benefits. If you're cooking them dinner, cooking their clothes, doing all these things, they're
Yep.
showing up for you. They're not showing up for you, but I meant like you're doing all these things. You're giving the bedroom fun. You're doing all these things. they're just sitting back and enjoying it. It's like pretty much like they're at the beach and you're the person bringing the Mai Tais.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
pretty much what's happening. They just
Yeah.
say, they're just sitting there and you're just like, here, Mai Tai, here, take it. And they're just like, why not? It's there.
Yep. And this is the thing. Somebody will, you know, I want to say, look, somebody will take if they, and it's not that they're a bad person. That's why I wanted to start with it. It's not that they're a bad person, but they're just the wrong person, right? But if you're giving, do you really think that person's going to go, well, I'm actually going to walk away from this
No,
because I'm receiving so much that I want to leave?
no.
No, they're not going to do that. They're going to stick around because they're taking, and they're so used to it. So if you stop doing it, that's when there's a problem. Well, how come you stopped? And then you might be the person saying, well, you're not seeing this about me, you're not seeing that about me, you're not appreciating this, you're not appreciating. Well, you've been doing it for the past 3 years, so what's the difference now? You know, so I think this is where we go back to the beginning, being able to vet somebody, be able to have your negotiables, your non-negotiables, and know what you're about before you enter that relationship. What are your boundaries? So you avoid experiencing these things, because I've
Well,
been
taking
there.
accountability.
And taking accountability, absolutely number one out of everything, right, Michael, is taking
Yeah,
accountability.
because like that's the thing. Like if you are trying to convince somebody to love you, and I hate to say this, and we're not picking on anybody, you have a self lack of love for yourself, because true love does not start with I need to convince you to love me.
Yeah, whether it's said in verbally in words or
True love starts when two people come into agreement because of the love, respect, care for each other, and they can come together and grow the love that they have. It's like, I love that person. I love who they are. I love what they represent, and you can grow that. Where in the
absolutely.
definition of love did it say, I need to convince you to love me and then we grow together?
Yeah.
No, because now the person is not there of their own free volition. They don't want to be there. They're just
Yeah.
reaping the benefits. So,
We could even
um,
put it to the podcast we're doing here. Like, we started something for a love that we enjoy
there you
between,
go.
we have our own like passion in what we're doing. So we started something, we're going to grow with this. And it's because we love what we're doing. Now, had one of us or both of us said, no, it's not something we like, it's not something we enjoy, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. We wouldn't be growing. And we're not even, it's not a trying thing. It's quite, I don't know, I think you would agree, and I know you've done a lot of work with this, but it can become quite effortless at times, because you actually know that you're waking up and you want to do something. You
You
want to
want to
spend,
be there.
you want to be, yeah, you want to be there. You want to spend that time. Like, I look forward to these, like, I could speak to Michael on the phone how many
Yeah.
times? And but it comes to the podcast now, like, we're quite excited. And I know Michael gets up really early. And I always say, like, oh, you really do get up early. Like, I don't know if I could commit to that level of that time in the morning that Michael does. But I suppose I probably would, because I'd be so excited that what I'm doing. Maybe the first 5 minutes I'd be like, nah, oh no, and fight myself a little bit. But then once I'm up, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm ready. But
Well, that's the thing. You see, like, what we're trying to say is, like, look, see, you don't have to convince me to, Anthea doesn't have to convince me to be
no,
here. I don't have to
no,
convince her to be here. We're
that's
here of
right,
our own free volition. And
right.
that's the thing. It's the same thing. In that type of relationship, when it's good love, you're there of your own free will. But that's what I'm
Yes,
saying. If the other person's not as committed as you are, or not there of their own free will, they're just kind of like there, then you know you have a problem. And that's
absolutely.
the thing. Why would you not cut them off? Why are you going to keep giving them free Mai Tais when they're not even saying thank you? Why are you
Yes,
going to keep giving them free Mai Tais when they're just like, oh, thanks? Or they only come to you when they're thirsty. We'll use a beautiful example. You're on the beach, you're there, they're so used to you bringing Mai Tais only when they're thirsty. Mai Tai, please. And you're just like, okay, here's my opportunity to prove to this person that I'm good enough. You're running to the beach, you have your Mai Tai in hand. Mai Tai? Oh, thanks, man. Okay, get out of here now. And then that's it. And then you start to see that they have other people bringing the Mai Tais. Then you're sitting there thinking, like, I guess I'm not that special. Now when they call you over for you to bring them a Mai Tai, now you're gonna have 3 on a plate to try to prove something. Oh, so, hey, I brought you 3. I have 3 Mai Tais right here for you. person's going to be like, oh, damn, like, thanks, 3, cool. And then you
They will
still see them
accept it.
entertaining other people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
And they
that's
will
why
always accept it. They will always take it on
they'll
board,
always
right?
take it.
They're never going to turn around and say, well, actually, no, you're not going to, don't do my washing today. I'll do that myself. Don't cook me dinner today. No, don't go and run around for me today. No, they're going to say yes. They're just going to accept it and take it, because why
Or they
would
would end the relationship, because a healthy man would be able to acknowledge that this is not a relationship for either of us. It's breaking both of us more than it's helping both of us.
Yeah.
It needs to end. He's not going to continue. And I'm talking, and a healthy woman too.
Yeah.
A healthy woman will say, yo, or a healthy man will end the relationship because they don't see the benefits of it. They don't see that it's molding both of you. It's doing more pain than it is hurting. Are we telling you to quit on every relationship when things get hard? No. Relationships get hard. But I think you will know if it's the right person or not because of the reciprocation. You will have more good times than you will bad. And there will be reciprocation. You won't be doing so much.
Yes.
And the person's doing so very little.
Yes.
I think that's the biggest takeaway, is they're able to receive your gifts and you're able to receive theirs.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that is spot on. Absolutely.
So that's how I've always looked at it. You know what I mean? I've learned now, where I'm at the age of 34, turning 35, is to be more vigilant in my choices. Not to be cautious to not make a choice, but to be more vigilant in my choices. You see, there's a big difference. I'm learning to be like, look at everything. Okay, now we know what we need to do, and then go do it. That's it. Because the thing is, especially when it comes to your dating life, you need to know who you're bringing into your house. You can't get mad that you didn't vet the person. You bring them into your house, they break a bunch of things, they steal a bunch of things, they do a bunch of stuff, they leave, and then you say, oh man, this person did all this. You let them in.
Right. And that's the thing. And this, you know what, and what you've just said, just, one of my relationships, I remember so clearly saying to myself, how can you possibly point a finger or be angry at that person? You allowed them in.
Yeah, you let them in.
It was me. It wasn't some thing floating around that just kind of come along, and no, I done it. So if I do it, it's up to me. Like Michael rightfully said before, the accountability. I had to hold myself accountable for what was happening in my home. Now, if I didn't hold myself accountable and I kept blaming, then guess what would have happened? It would have been the biggest breakdown of a relationship. But because I understood, this is because I've allowed this. I didn't vet this person. I didn't set the boundaries. There's so much that I didn't do that's allowed this to come to this fruition, and for me to manifest in this way and happen to live this. Now, how can I point a finger when I've allowed all of that? It's not right for me to do that. Until I take responsibility and I understand what was happening, then I could take the right action, because I'm making a decision through looking around, like Michael said, being vigilant of what's happening, understanding the situation, and then taking that action. And that's what changed everything.
I agree with that. That is a good way to look at it. You see, but that's the thing. You were smart. You took accountability and you said, yo, you know what? This just isn't working. And you were able to kick the person to the curb. I hate to say it. You were able to assert yourself in a way to say, nah, we can't keep doing this no more. Because you were able to see that you took accountability, and that's why I respect you so much. You took accountability to say, you know what? This relationship's doing more pain than it is bringing us together.
And it really did do that. And me having to say that, the other person was not happy, but I knew carrying on like that was, I'm going to make my own life miserable. And I wasn't prepared to do that to myself. I was like, I've come way too far in life to be with the wrong person. It wasn't that he was a bad person again. Like, he's going to be right for somebody else. It just wasn't right for me. He didn't understand me. I didn't understand him. We didn't understand each other's lives. We didn't understand each other's ways. How I would do things was not the way he done things. So we were completely like at complete different ends of the scale. So there was no come together and understanding. It was all just bickering of this. Well, and it's never that I'm right or he's wrong. This is my life and this is how I choose to do things, and that's your life and that's how you choose to do things. It's just not right for each other. And I think
it doesn't complement each other.
Doesn't complement each other, and that's what it comes down to, and that's where it all starts, I suppose, because you're different ways of thinking, different ways of being, and you're trying to make it be that they connect and they become one together when it's completely
they don't.
Yeah, it doesn't. And it doesn't matter how much you try and lock heads and bang heads together, it's not going to work. It is not going to work.
Well, again, that's amazing that Anthea said that, because I have a surprise for everybody here, not just me, but for Anthea too. It's a video that I came across last night that, again, I want us to go over. It'll be a quick overview. I think you guys will enjoy it, but I'm going to share it with you guys right now. Hang on a second.
Iron, as it has become dull. This should be able to slice me wide open. But the only reason that it's not slicing me open is because it's been hitting against wood. So if iron sharpens iron, what doesn't sharpen iron? Wood. If iron and wood are constantly in relationship, this can never be sharpened because it's not made from the same material. If I'm in a relationship with somebody that is not equally yoked, what happens is one will become damaged and the other will become dull. Many of us are in relationships that are unequally yoked, and it's hurting both of you because you started off sharp, but you started having relationship with wood. People that don't have the same values, people that don't believe God. Oh, we can just do it this one time. We can go to the club tonight. It's your perfect. And what happens is the thing that was sharp becomes dull, and the thing that was wood becomes damaged. This is iron right here. But
so that's
this iron is it has become dull. This should be able to slice me wide open.
So that's what I wanted to share with you guys quickly.
That's giving me goosebumps.
You see what he's saying? Iron sharpens iron. So if you're dating somebody, you guys should be able to sharpen each other. But if you're dating someone and they're wood, you guys both hurt each other. The iron stops getting sharp. The wood is the wood. And it's not making fun of anybody. It's just acknowledging a truth that when iron sharpens iron, you both become better. But when you're knocking against wood, the axe becomes dull and the wood stays the same.
Mm-hmm. So true, right?
And that's what he's saying. Like, you need to understand both of your values, your principles, all of it. He's talking about the vetting process, right? So you guys should constantly be elevating each other all the time. You guys should be able to feed off of each other. You guys should be able to sharpen, make each other better, evolve each other every single day. You should be able to learn from them. They should be able to learn from you. But if you can't do that and you guys are totally like contradicting each other all the time, then how does the iron become sharp?
It doesn't. And also,
it doesn't.
Sorry. No, I was going to say, and also, if in yourself you feel really down in the dumps most of the time because of your unhappiness in a relationship, then that speaks volumes in itself. Your emotions are not going to lie to you. In your mindset, in what you're thinking, in what you're seeing, in what's bringing you to that level it's your truth. So it's like accepting your truth and not being scared of what's next and not being scared of what's going to happen if you walk away, because at the end of the day, you've got there's always going to be light at the end of the tunnel, and the difference between being treated well and not well. I mean, not everyone knows the difference between being treated well and not being treated well, but you kind of, if you get to know yourself, you will learn that difference, and you will know that if there's constant arguments, that's number one, showing you that it's the wrong person to you. Otherwise, like Michael said earlier on, it'll be like a duck to water, and it'll just kind of swim along happily, And yes, you will have your disagreements. Absolutely, no one's going to agree on everything because you are
No.
sets of people. It's just yeah. But you're going to have an 80-20 more or less, rather than
Well, I think at the end of the day, it goes back to that saying that you can't make a horse drink.
absolutely. Yeah, you
You
can take
know
it
what I
all
mean?
to
Like,
the
you'll
heart
never
and
be good
the
enough for the
heart.
wrong. You can't make a horse drink. Like, you're saying, drink from this wonderful fountain, and the horse is like, I don't want to drink from this
Yeah,
fountain. Like,
yeah.
no, like,
What you're going to do,
no.
you can't make it do it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what he's and you know, in both of these messages, that's what they're trying to say is you'll never be good enough. So it's being able to acknowledge certain truths. It's being able to sit with yourself and acknowledge it and say, okay, this is what works. This is what doesn't work. But that's the thing. That's why we tell you guys to have a vetting process, and we want to do a PDF on it 100%. We tell you guys to have a vetting process to keep the bad ones out.
Absolutely.
That's the ones that you don't feel are suited. That's why we tell you have a vetting process. A vetting process would solve most of the problems you have in your dating life.
Absolutely.
Even in your friend life, it would solve a lot of your problems.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so true. You know what? It's so true. So true. When you know what you will accept and what you don't, your negotiables and your non-negotiables, then everything
Yeah.
can work from there. And you haven't got to get deep into something and then try and find a way to get out of it. You just know from the beginning, and that's what it is. So yeah.
Well, that's the thing. You also need to understand that your vetting process is always going to change. Some people are going to stay on the list. Some people are going to fall off the list. New people are going to come on the list of your vetting process. I'm talking about friends and dating. There's going to be relationships where they're going to be really great. They're going to start. They're going to end. They're going to begin.
Just how
It's
it goes.
going to happen that way. Now,
Absolutely.
the reason why we tell you to vet is because you always want to make sure you date with purpose. You don't want to date with, oh, this one will end, I'll get a new one. We're not telling you that. We're saying date with a vetting process, but also be aware that the relationship there's a possibility of it ending. There is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's dating. But
Yeah.
also make sure that you date with purpose to say, I am looking for long term. I am looking for this. In the first 3 months, and I always say this, in the first 3 months, you're vetting the person out. You're going out, you're having a good time, you guys are enjoying each other. Then after the 3 to 4 month marker, now you are starting to set down, okay, where are we going? What are we doing? Where's this relationship headed? Is this a relationship? Because at that point, at the 3 to 4 month marker, now you can decide if you need to walk away or not.
Yes.
Now you can decide if you need to stay, if you need to go, if it's worth pursuing.
Yes.
Because you've had a good filtering out process.
Yes, absolutely.
Now you can decide if you want to make that person your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. You've taken the time to vet them properly, and you're not done vetting, but now you're establishing, okay, I understand that you feel this way about this, and this. Like within the 3 month marker, I'm not saying on the first date, but within the 3 to 4 month marker, you should know where the person stands on having children, for example. You should know where they stand on marriage within that 3 to 4 month window. But you see, I see a lot of people not even asking these questions. I'm not saying on the first date, but having intellectual conversations where these things are coming up. How do you feel about marriage? Because you'll find out that you're in a 2-year relationship with someone that doesn't want to get married.
Yeah, and
you're
you
like,
were married.
You're like, you didn't have the conversation about it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or you're like in a relationship with someone and you realize that they don't want to have kids. And you're like,
I wanted kids, so why? Yeah, and then you're going to try and make someone do something that they don't actually want to do, and I know people that's happened. I know people it's happened to, and it's a bit, it's not the best situation.
But that's why you gotta vet them. That's why you have to vet them within that 3-4 month window. The honeymoon phase is coming to an end.
Yes.
So now it's getting real.
Yeah, it's getting proper real.
Yeah, now it's getting real. Like now it's like this is real business now.
Yeah.
So after that, you need to decide if this person's for you or if they're not for you. If you're gonna walk away or if you're gonna stay.
And you only know that by actually going through that process of vetting someone,
hanging out with them, getting to know them, asking certain questions.
Yeah.
And that's the only way.
And sorry, I was going to say, and understanding that they're not just giving you the answers you want to hear. because people do that too. They kind of will suss you out before you suss them out, and then give you the answers you want to hear just to get you somewhere. So don't be fooled by that either. That's why we say take the time. Take your time. There's no rush out here. You know, if you're going to spend the rest of your life with someone, 3 months is
You need
not.
to know who that is. You need to know
Yeah.
what they're about.
Yes, because trust me, I've been in a relationship where I just got told exactly what I wanted to hear. And as time went on, I realized everything you have said to me is actually BS. None of it was true. It was just what he thought I wanted to hear. And obviously, it, it resonated with me. And I thought, oh, okay. So he vetted me and understood my character or what I would be looking for before I understood his, and he managed to manipulate that situation as such. So yeah,
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. People do tell you what you want to hear, but that's why you take the 3 to 4 month marker
yes,
to feel them out,
yes,
because then you can watch and you can learn.
yes,
Then you can assess, because they'll tell you sweet nothings. We're not saying people are perfect,
no,
but if you watch and you learn and say, I'm the one doing all the phone calling, I'm
yeah,
the one doing all the texting, and you bring it to that person's attention and they still don't change it, now you know where you stand with that person. It's very simple. That's why you have to watch and learn.
yes,
Because again, you'll see certain behaviors and certain patterns, and you'll be able to assess, like, okay, they're not really feeling me like that or anything like that.
oh dear,
Good,
Mike.
guys. I'm not talking. You'll be able to assess to say if this person's right for you or not. Just watch and learn.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people will fall into that trap to say, like, oh, the person's nice to me. Okay, yeah, they're nice to you, but only sometimes. They're only nice to you when they want something.
Mm-hmm. You got to recognize that definitely something to recognize. You'll find there is people that will come and they will be nice to you because they want something, and as soon as they don't want anything, you don't hear from them or you don't see them, or it'll be something as long as it benefits them. If it benefits them, they're going to be nice to you. If it doesn't benefit them,
well, I heard something that's really helpful. You'll be able to know the true test of somebody not during the times that are good, but during the times that are bad. That's when you will know someone's true character. Is if you guys are in turmoil and they can still stand with you. That's when you will know if a person's truly for you, or are they just like, no, I want out of this relationship, I'm out, I've had enough. That's when you know truth. Did you want to add something? Because
no, I'm completely with what you're saying. That is when you know truth. It's, it is. So many people will just kind of fled from that situation if things get hard. But if someone sticks around and they're with you and they're listening to you and they're taking their time with you and they're around you, then you know that person is good for you. And it's not just that. There's so much more that comes with it that we spoke about earlier on. But the wrong person is just will argue with you.
Like, you could fight it as much. They're the wrong person.
They're the wrong person. And I think that's really, where it comes to, isn't it? Where if you can recognize that that's what's happening and you can come to an acceptance in that and take responsibility for yourself with it, accountability for yourself, and be able to move past that, then you'll see the light, massive light at the end of the tunnel once you make that decision to do what is right for you.
Exactly. So with that being said, guys, we're going to have the topics ready for next week, this Sunday. You know what I mean? We want to cover so many things because we talk about so many things. So, you know, I mean, we have some topics on hand that we are going to talk about next week. The schedule will be regular next week. It will be on its regular turmoil, like not regular turmoil, I should say. You know, we want to talk about, you know, how he treats you is how he feels about you, maybe. You know, we have some good topics in mind that we think are going to help a lot of people. One of them I maybe might want to cover, or we might cover together, is the "I don't need a man, I don't need a woman" mindset.
That's a
That
really
one's
good
pretty
one.
that
Yeah,
one's pretty toxic, or how to know when it's really a true connection.
yeah.
So, we're going to work on that. We're going to have that prep for you guys. But before we go, we do next month have some great news. We're going to lock down some special guests that we're going to have that are friends of Anthea's, that are females. Talk about relationships, talk about when to exit one, when to leave one. We're just going to be able to come there and have that healthy conversation together. So we're going to be able to give you guys dates for that. Then we have our 20th episode coming up real soon, which there'll be some surprises there as well too. But with that being said, before we go, I actually want to be able to thank a lot of the women in my life that have contributed to a lot of these conversations. I talk to a lot of women daily, just to get, insight, information, more as in the sense of understanding ways of thinking and stuff like that. And they've contributed a lot of wisdom and knowledge, to help understand the female nature, understand females on their side of things, because as men, like, we have to look at both sides, not just our own. So I want to say thank you to all the females that have had those conversations with me, that were able to tell me, hey, like, this is what I experienced, this is what I went through, this is how it went for me, this is where I'm at now. Because again, what you don't understand is what you're talking about could help another female. That's what it comes down to. Like, what you're sharing could help another female, especially on this podcast. What I'm learning from men could help another man. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? So that's what it's all about when it comes down to the end of the day. We'll have more information, as I said, for you about the special guest, about our 20th episode. We're gonna have a lot for you guys. So
And
yeah, is
thank
there
you
anything
to
you
you
want to
as
add,
well,
Anthea?
Michael. Yeah, I'm going to say thank you to you as well, Michael, for every conversation we've had over the past 7-8 years, and
Oh
every
wow, it's been that
realization.
long.
Yeah, I think it's been a good
Oh,
7 years
wow.
now. I
Oh
know.
wow. See, but that's what I'm saying. When you're with the right people, like, you don't even look at time. You're like, it's been
So
7 years. Like, what?
it's
Okay.
7, I actually, it's like I remember the first time we spoke, and that was a good 7 years
Yeah, I'm
ago.
like,
So
it's been 7 years.
yeah, and it is
But
amazing because had we would never have known back then that this is what we'll be doing today. We just went with the flow. Our friendship just grew.
yeah,
We've always kept in contact with one another, and and then it comes to this point. So this is where this is. I mean, this is a good actual real life situation of having the right people around, and it's not a love relationship but a friendship that is
hmm
the right friendship, because we have come through all this place, all these different situations, different experiences. We've
yeah,
spoken about many things along the way. We've had 3-hour, 4-hour conversations, 2-hour conversations. We've and this is over a period of 7 years, and now we're
yeah.
here doing podcasts together, and it's going to continue to grow our friendship, and it's turned into business and friendship. And there's nothing, that's how you know you're in the right place with the right people, because
Well, what's
you continue.
crazy about, like, our dynamic, and I didn't mean to cut you off there, but what's crazy about our dynamic is we've been in each other's lives, and we'll do a little side twist here, of when we've dated the wrong people.
Yes, we
We've
have.
both been in each other's lives when we dated the
Yeah.
wrong people.
Yes.
So it's very interesting being able to see those concepts, but then also on the flip side, that people always come to us for some apparent reason about relationship advice. For
Yes.
some apparent reason. And I think it's just because what we give relationship advice wise is unbiased. We're gonna tell the person, we're gonna call them out on their BS, but we're also gonna say, yo, the other person was wrong too. We
Yeah.
don't play favorites. We're very, very intuitive when it comes to that. Like, I know I will be like, look, what you did was foul. Like, I have no problem like, what you did was foul. Like, like, I understand you're trying to finger point and say it's all them, but I'm like, you contributed to this too.
And Michael's become better and better at this, by the way, because there was a point I remember where Michael wasn't able just to voice not able, or not that it wasn't able, but it wasn't, he would hold back. But now I've
Yeah,
seen
no,
a big difference in him,
yeah,
where he actually is really straightforward and just says it. And I love that. It's just
yeah.
brilliant. It's so
Well,
nice
it's
to
been
watch.
like that now because it has to be. You see
It
what I'm
has to
saying?
be. Yeah,
When you
absolutely.
don't do that, it's a disservice. And the thing is, guys, like I've seen Anthea do the same thing because I think I seen it in myself. She would hold back again because again, you never want to be offensive. You want to try to play it
Yeah,
safe. You want to
yeah.
try to, you don't want to rock the boat.
Yeah,
But
especially like when you're good-hearted like that, and you
yeah,
feel bad all the time, and it's
there
like
you
no.
go.
But sorry,
But the
go.
boat needs rocking. That's the
Yes,
thing. The boat
yeah,
needs rocking, and
yeah,
that's the thing. Like because you do yourself a disservice when you don't speak up. When you're not like, yo, like what you did was foul. Like, you know
yeah,
what I mean? You
yeah,
lose respect and credibility with your peers. You lose respect and credibility even with your partner
yeah,
because now they're sitting there thinking everything is fine and dandy when deep down inside, things are not good. So that's why I believe in the straight direct approach to be like just give it to them straight and let them decide.
hmm. I'm with.
So
I agree
again, we're gonna be back again next Wednesday and Friday, which is the end of the month. So next
already.
month is September. So again, we have special guests, we have special news, we have a bunch of special things just popping up for you
Very
guys.
nice. Yeah.
So again, as we said, like, share, subscribe to the video. We're going to keep running our polls. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. And yeah, we want you guys to be a part of it.
And yeah, absolutely. We want everyone to be a part of it. So please do like, share, put us out there. If you think anyone can benefit from what you hear, then please let them know. Always sharing is caring. So yeah, on that note, I think we're at the end of it, Michael.
Yes, we are. We are at the
Yeah,
end of it. So we will see you guys next week
great
on
state.
Wednesday.
Cool. Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend.